Is it money first, or a young man should move and check that he's ready or he's not ready to find his purpose? Is it money first or finding your purpose as a human being or as a young man?
It's finding who you are, knowing who you are as part of your identity. Then everything else will follow. Um, Money shouldn't really necessarily be the objective nor the goal, but finding who you are, identify who you are, what you believe in, what gifts and talents you have, and what you were born to do. That should be the good foundation for life. Yeah.
Okay, so identifying who you are, your beliefs, your values, and what shape you as an individual. How did you get here? Did you just identify yourself? Did you just walk on that path, or you just went through a process to become who you are and what you are doing today?
I think a lot of who I am stems from my parents and who my parents are. So my mom is an ex-military officer,
Oh,
and she's
ex-army officer.
for the
Then
Ghana.
more discipline, or you be living in a disciplined house, because we know
Yeah,
that military men and women are more disciplined.
and she's also a pastor on top of that. So
Oh, really? Nice combination.
it's
Nice
like,
combination.
yeah, it's like the strictest. And I think my dad was also I'll just call him a businessman, a tradesman. So
Okay.
that's the home that I came from. One person that understands business, understand trading, understand importing and exporting, and how to basically make money with items. And another person who's all about discipline, who's all about putting God first, who's all about understanding the will of God for your life. And I think that for me was a perfect combination because I was able to understand who God has called me to be,
Yeah.
what He has said to me as a person,
Mhm.
and then I was able to then identify certain gifts and traits and then use them to form and shape who I am today.
Wow. Yes. So you've combined that aspect of catered for by a military woman and then also a businesswoman. So you are into business all by having that kind of discipline from your parents. So you've been able to combine them, and it has helped shaped you, and you've been able to identify actually who you are, and you are walking in that path. Yeah, as a founder and moving into this space of media and marketing, and also going into charity works and all. So
Yeah,
you've learned a lot from your parents and more or less like the immediate family.
yeah. More,
How would you say, or how would you connect family and purpose? How our families are able to influence the kind of life we live as young adults?
um. So one example I would use is that God picked Abraham in the Bible, right? Because He said that I know that He's going to teach His children
Okay.
my ways and my purpose, and I feel like the family you're born into, or from okay, the family you're born into sets the stage for you for life
This
as a,
sets the stage for you for life.
for life because the
Okay.
family that you're born into teaches you values. It shapes your lens, your
Mm-hmm.
perspective. It gives you an understanding of who you are. So, for example, if you're born into a poor family, poverty is the first thing that you see. So you might have values like, for example, work is how to attain success, or money is how to attain success.
Yes.
As a sociologist as well, we also learned that the environment that one is surrounded in also formulates their ideals. It formulates who they are as a person. It formulates their path, right? So your
Yeah.
family is very important. It's like your ecosystem. A fish cannot live outside of water
Yeah.
in order to survive, right? So that for me, I think is very, very important. A lot of people don't come from the best families. A lot of people come from great families, or a lot of people, because they don't come from great families, they strive to have better families. A lot of
Yeah.
people, because they come from good families, they strive to have even better families because of
Mm-hmm.
what they've learned. So your family very, very much sets the stage for you. It sets your social status. It sets your financial status. It sets your moral compass, for example. It sets your understanding of life. Are you liberal? Are you conservative? Are you radical? That's all shaped and formulated from your family, I would say. Yeah.
And these are more or less like the defining times of how you can be able to find actually what you are called for to be able to do that. And it gets to a point where people think that, yes, let's throw everything aside. Family does not matter. The environment does not matter. It's just about you, the individual. Do you believe that it's just about you, the individual? Like you said, the environment, the family plays a critical role in your
Yeah.
upbringing, in shaping you as an individual. Do you believe that single-handedly you can be the better version of yourself without a collaboration or without the contribution of all these stuff?
No, because we're influenced day in and day out. So it's like, okay, the soil in which a seed, right, is
Yeah,
planted in will determine the outcome of this of the seed.
let's
For
see.
example, the Bible talks about a seed was sown on a fertile ground. It had all the nutrients, all the sunlight, all the love, whatever. That grows and it flourishes.
Mhm.
A seed can be sown on a stony ground. It's still going to grow, but it's going to grow in a different way.
Yeah.
So I think you can't, in this life we're born into a family. Everybody is born into a family, whether you're adopted or you were abandoned at birth. You're born into some sort of family,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't just drop out from the sky.
Sure.
So your growth or who you become is formulated around that environment. Like, yeah, so I think single-handedly you can't just be like, oh, it's me as a person, because who teaches you about right and wrong?
Mhm.
Who teaches you what's bad and what's good? Who teaches you how to be respectful? For us that come from, for example, Ghana, who teaches you your culture, not to pass things with your left hand,
Yeah.
how to treat your elders? It's all from your family. These are things that you pick up within your family, and they shape who you are until you get to a certain stage where you can decide, I want to follow what I've been taught, or I want to neglect, abandon, relearn what I've been taught. Yeah.
Okay. So how what's your definition of purpose, and how can a young man have a clear sense of direction and purpose in a world where there are so many distractions all over? How can a young man find a clear sense of purpose? And what's your definition
So
of purpose?
for me, purpose is the compass that directs you to your destiny. That's what
Okay.
I would say
Okay.
is the compass. And I believe that we don't have more than one, just one purposes, because, for example, we have different purposes in life. Your
Yeah.
purpose is to be a brother. You could be a cousin. That's a purpose, right?
Yeah.
You're somebody's son. That's a purpose. But we have what I would call the ultimate purpose, which leads to destiny. And then we have the sub purposes. So I'm a student, that's my purpose. Or I work in a company and I'm a manager. My purpose there is to be a manager in that company.
Okay.
But what I would say is, or what I would define purpose is that compass, that sense of direction to what you ought to do at every given season, time, and moment. Whatever.
So your purpose as an individual give you the sense of direction, a clear path to follow. And for me, I have seen that, yeah, people think that they have something in them, but how to bring it out? How to bring it out? What's your
So,
take? How can somebody bring what he or she has identified in him or her out?
so the Bible, right? I'm a
Mhm.
Christian, obviously.
Understand that you are quoting so many verses, and I
Yeah.
appreciate.
So my favorite parable in the Bible is
Mhm.
the parable of the talents, right?
Yes, yes,
And that's literally how I live my all time. And it talks about what one was given five, one was given two, one was given one.
yeah,
as a human being, as long as you are born
Mm-hmm.
into the world, you have some sort of talent. The
Yeah.
Bible says it gifts unto men. Everybody has something. Whether you feel like you're useless or you're the best in the world, you have something. But the thing is that people think that because certain gifts and talents are mainstreamed or commercialized, they don't have a talent. How you identify it is number one, the things that you're attracted to,
Mm-hmm.
the things that people, for example, notice is about you,
Yeah.
the things that become natural to you, because sometimes these things come naturally to you. So for somebody, they wake up in the morning, the first thing is that they think about singing. That comes
Okay.
naturally. For somebody, they wake up in the morning and they're thinking about how they're going to help somebody. That's their gifts, their talent, their purpose. Someone, they wake up and they think, oh, how am I going to make money?
Mm-hmm.
That's also a talent, because
Yeah.
it takes talent to make
The
money.
talent of making money.
Exactly. So everybody has something, but we're all unique in the sense of what we've been given. Some
Yeah.
people have things and they have to find a way to streamline that. Other people, you could just be a good listener. That is a
Okay.
talent.
It's a talent.
Many people don't know how to listen. You could just be a good organizer. You like to organize events. You like to organize family planning, family issues. That's a skill and a talent people don't have. So everybody has something, and I feel like you are either naturally drawn to it, people around you will tell you things
Yeah.
that they see that you're good at, or it's something that you discover. So those are the key things. And once you've identified it, so for example,
Mm-hmm.
at a very young age, I I discovered that I like to talk.
Yeah.
Even
You
though
are
I
you
like
are
to
you are a talkative.
talk, yes, exactly. Anything and everything, I will talk. I'll even
Yeah.
give you quotes and backings and
Mm-hmm.
whatever from
Yeah.
the Bible or scientific or mathematics, whatever.
And
Something like,
anybody who has come in contact with you will testify to whatever you are saying, that yes, this lady can talk for the world. That is what draw people to you
you,
as
yeah,
an individual, and that is what puts you out there as an individual. Yes.
exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's one thing that I discovered at a very young age, and I realized that whether it was church or whether we had family meetings, they would always make me talk,
Yeah.
make me the spokesperson. So for me, it's up to me to identify that that's a gift or a talent, and I can nurture that, and I could use that to, as we mentioned at the beginning, help me make money if I really wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
identifying those things, and I think going back to what we were speaking about, the role of the family,
Mm-hmm.
it is the role of the your family or your parent to kind of nurture those gifts, those talents. So for example, you see that your daughter's or son is very good at dancing.
Yeah.
You take the classes so that they can sharpen that skill, that talent. Your daughter is very good at writing. You buy them more books for them to read so that they can write.
Yeah.
That your daughter is very good at sewing. You buy them more equipment so that they can sew and later in life make more clothes. But the problem is that not everybody has that. Not everybody has someone to identify that, oh, you're really good at this, or oh, I can really see you doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes a problem. But sometimes it's the things that either come naturally to you or you need someone to point it out. So I think that's how you kind of identify that. And then once you identify that, if you're a child or under guardianship, you have to have someone to nurture it. If not, I guess later on in life, you have to nurture it yourself. So
Yeah.
if you see that you're really good at something, just nurture it. And that's you birth that, and that will definitely take you to your purpose or your well, that will take you to your destiny because you'll be then walking in purpose.
Great. With the issue of comparison, and like we are talking about the parable of the talent, you
Hmm.
see, in the Bible, there were some who were given five and two and one. He says that he gave them each according to their abilities,
Yeah.
right? So for me, from what I said, what I see is that people compare their lives to others. And like you're talking about the mainstream whatever, like we in quote, we say these are the mainstream gifts or the mainstream talents. So for
Yeah.
instance, if I can do something that maybe the other person who is in the limelight is not doing, I consider myself as unimportant, and then it's not necessary to even enlarge it. But we forget that yes, little drops of water will definitely make a mighty ocean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how um would you say, or what will you say to people or to young guys or to young ladies who think that yes, this person has taken the lead, and therefore whatever I am doing is not necessary. I should just follow that person and neglect mine. The act of comparison. How
Yeah.
we deal with it as young adults.
If you follow me or if you know me, one of the slogans everywhere that I have is believe in your truth.
Believe
Truth.
in your truth.
Even if you go on my page, you see at the little bottom of the logo, believe in your truth is right at the top, believe in your truth. And how believe in your truth came to me, and this came to me in 2017. And it was basically that each and every person that is born, you have a truth about you.
Okay.
This is who you are.
Yes.
This is who you ought to become.
Mm-hmm.
These are your gifts. These are your qualities. These are
Yes.
your talents. These are your ability.
Yes.
This is your truth. All of that adds up to your truth. The truth about you, who you are, what you're good at, what you're called to do. That is your truth. And earlier we were talking about you knowing who you are. The foundation of this life, and I actually filmed a video yesterday, but I didn't upload it. But I guess I'll say it here, is that you need to know your truth. If you don't know your truth, people will tell you who you are.
If you don't know your truth, people will tell you who you are. That is a great quote by Miss Crystal Asiedu Nyarko. If you don't know who you are,
Tell
people
you,
will tell you.
people will tell you who you are.
If you don't know your truth, people will tell you who you are.
Yes.
Good. Great. Why do you say
So
that?
because you have a truth about you,
Yes.
what God has said about you over your life.
Yes.
You have to now identify that truth, what God has said, what God has called you to do. If you don't know, number one, society will tell you who they
Who
think
you
you are.
are.
Number two, your family will tell you who they
Who
think you
you
are.
are.
Number three, your friends, your family, your environment will tell you who they think you are. And number four, the devil will tell you who you they
Ah.
think you are, right? So many different voices will tell you who you are, but there can only be one truth, right? That
Yes.
truth shows you your way. That truth shows you your path.
Mm-hmm.
That truth shows you is it basically aligns you to your destiny. That truth becomes your compass. So, for example, me, I know I'm here to come and inspire, to motivate and shape,
Yes.
cultivate. A lot of people have gifts and talents and things that God has called them to do, and I'm here to help them birth those things. That is what I believe about me.
Sure.
You can now come and tell me something, and you think that I will now go with you because I'm so confident. I'm so sure in my truth. And because I'm so sure in my truth, I'm not looking at what person A is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at what person B is doing. I don't even care about what person C is doing because
Fantastic.
that's what I have been called to do. And the problem with this generation, we live in a generation where social media is everywhere.
Yeah.
We see what everyone is doing. This person is dancing. This person is singing. This
Yeah.
person is celebrities. Like you said, you might feel inadequate. Block out the noise. What has God said about you? Who do you know you to be? Sometimes we get even the wrong misconception about ourselves because of these things. You grow up in your family saying, oh, you're a bad boy, you're a bad girl, you'll never amount to anything. That is
Yeah.
false lies. That is not the
Yeah.
truth. I don't, and that's why I said, if you don't know your truth, people will tell you who you are.
They'll tell you
I
who
don't,
you are.
they'll tell you. They'll shape you into who they think you are.
And they will define you to
Yes,
get suit actually what you are thinking.
yes. And that's not the truth. There can only be one truth. And it says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Once I know the truth about me, I'm free to walk in purpose. I'm
Yes.
free walk in my calling. I'm free to walk in my destiny. But the issue is that a lot of us, we don't understand, or we don't realize what our truth is. Therefore, we now look at, oh, this person has just bought a new car. This person has just gotten married. This person is traveling the world. I feel irrelevant. No, block that out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
So,
It's really affecting our generation a lot. And we keep comparing our lives to others. And because of that, we neglect the path that we are supposed to chart. And
yeah.
you see, it's a world where if you don't add value to yourself, if you are not focused, and if you are not providing any value, yes, you chase the money and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
the money will not come to you because there's a saying that the world will buy you at the price in which you offer yourself
Yeah.
or the value you are giving to the world.
Yeah.
Indirect. And there is this thing written boldly on one of the walls at my workplace. It says that everything has a value.
Everything has a price.
Everything has a value. So every individual who is watching us today, yes, we are saying to that everything has a value. And
Yeah.
talking about the truth, how did you come to the realization that this is the truth about yourself and
Yeah.
started believing? Because if you don't know the truth, it will be very difficult for you to believe.
Yeah.
How did
Um,
you know the truth about yourself? Did it stem from your family, as we discussed or we've discussed earlier, or it stemmed from the environment, or it just sprang up from yourself like an individual? It just came from you that yes, this is me, this is Crystal, this is who I am.
yeah. You see when you have water, right? And you have squash, you try to dilute the squash with water,
Yeah, you dilute it
right?
more.
You do dilute it with water,
Yeah,
but it will never taste the same as it is when it's undiluted.
100% concentration.
Yes. That is how you need to identify the truth. Some of us, we have been diluted.
Some of us have been diluted.
Yes, we have been diluted by the voices of our family, diluted by our community, diluted by society. And the fortunate thing is, even though it's been diluted, it still has a bit of the original concentration with it.
Yeah.
So you have to go back. And one of the things that helped me is, number one, I'm a Christian. So going back to God, who's the maker, the author and finisher of all things,
Mhm.
and asking him, okay, who am I?
Who are you?
Because you know who I am. So
Yes.
who am I? What have you called me to do? What am I here to do? Why am I in this family? Why do I have these gifts? Or what gifts do I even have if I don't know them? But then the thing about the truth is, no matter how much you try to hide it, or no matter how you try to dilute it,
Mm-hmm.
it will always come out, right? Because the truth is like light. So you always have fragments of who you truly are. And once you start to piece together those fragments, you start to understand more of who you are, and then you get that revelation.
Yes.
So majority of finding my truth has been self-discovery, and the other majority has been having a relationship with God, right? And those two have actually helped me. Like I said, I identified key things. I like to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I like to help people? Why is it you've given me this heart? Why do I like to give to people?
Yes.
You know, and I through that process, you start to understand anything that was diluted starts to be filtered out,
Yeah.
and start to see the real concentration of who you are. So I'm this person. I have this gift. I have this talent. Like I was saying, we have different purposes, right? Even like
Mm-hmm.
the family you're born into,
Yes.
there's a reason why you were born into that family. So once you start to understand your truth, you start to understand your positioning in life. You start to understand, okay, why you're born into a certain family at a certain time. Because you could have been born 100 years in the past. You could have been born 100 years in the future, but you were born at that exact time. So there's a reason, right? God doesn't make mistakes. There's a reason why you were born at that particular time. Whether your parents can planned to have you or that it was a mistake to have you, you were born at exactly the time that you needed to be born. There's a reason for that. The date, even the dates you were born on, there's a reason for that. You're not just given a birthday because that's the day that you just came out. There's a truth behind even the day of that you were born. So once you start to put together those things, okay, I was born on this day because of this. I was, I'm given this gift because of this. You start to see the certain pictures, and then you start to realize the truth. Okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm here to do, and this is what I'm called to do. And then that makes the journey a little bit more easier. Yeah.
Wow. So using the power of self-discovery and aligning yourself to God, who is the source of your provision or whatever you think that you have in you, you are
Yeah.
able to actually know that and confirm that truth that this is actually who you are, and therefore you are charting that path. One
Yeah.
of my favorite people on earth, of blessed memory, Dr. Mas Moreau, he says that self-discovery is the greatest discovery in history. And any individual who is able to discover himself is just on the track of being a greater person in the world. Yes,
Yeah.
and so he was more or less like the father of discovery, of self discovery. He says that you should be able to discover yourself. And when you discover yourself, that is it. You've solved more or less like 70% of your life's problem because you are on that track and you are moving on. Yeah. So in this world, we are distracted. There are so many distractions all over. There are people who believe that yes, just get the money and all of that. Do you think that is it that is there an age or a stage where you think that at this point there is nothing you can do about yourself? That is it. You've ended the whole show. Do you think that there's a cut off to a point where one will say to him or herself that at this point I can't do anything for myself? Do you think that there's that kind of age or stage or at a point where you get and then you say, okay, no, whatever I came to do in this world, I'm still living though, but it has ended. What do you think about it?
If what you came to do in
Mm-hmm.
this has finished, then it's time for you to die.
Yeah, you die. Yeah, yesterday I was
Yeah.
thinking about some of these things. Yes, and I was asking myself, why do people die? Why are still
Yeah.
people dying? Then it means that if you die, then it means that everything that God brought you to this earth to do has ended.
It has
So
ended,
you are
but
just confirming what I was thinking in my mind.
it could have ended, but it needs to be completed.
Yes,
So Jesus, yet again, my great example, came
yes.
onto this earth
Mm-hmm.
33. He took 30 years to make solid about the truth of who he is as
Yes,
the Lord and Jesus Christ, his savior, identifying what he was here to do. Obviously, he is God, but in human flesh, identified what he was good at, what he was here to do, and he used 3 years to complete everything he was here to do. And when he died on the cross, he said, "It is finished."
finished.
So there's not a certain age, there's not a certain stage. For some people, they're here for 33 years. For other people, they're here for 100 years. For other people, they're here for 5 years. For other people, they're here for 10. Depending on what God has called you to do and what your assignment is. Once you die, you're basically done. But the sad thing about it is that not all death is a completion of task. So some people
Not others are a
is a
completion of task.
yeah.
Wow.
So some people are assassinated before their time.
Yeah.
Some people have heart attacks. Some people, due to the evil in this world, are cut. Their lives are cut short. That's why people say, gone too soon. Yes. So they are gone. They're done, but they're not completed what they've come here to do. So for me, the real thing is when you've completed everything and you look over your life and you've left a legacy, you've left an impact, and you can say that yes, I came here and I finished what I was meant to do, and then you die. And when you die, that death is usually a peaceful death. It's not in a plane crash or in a car crash or with health complications. It's usually a peaceful death. You die a peaceful death, and then That's usually it. But that's what I believe, that, you know, death is kind of like the determine of, after death you can't complete your assignment if you're not alive. So
Yes.
death closes that assignment, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you've completed it. Yeah.
Yes. So do you believe that passion has a role to play in everything that we are doing and how we can live that life of purpose? Do you believe that passion has a role to play in everything that we are doing and how we are living that life of purpose?
Of course. I definitely think so. To be able to move a car from A to B, you need either petrol or diesel, right?
Yeah.
For me, passion is that petrol or diesel that you
Yeah.
need, right? Because the car is there, you can move, but you're not going to go exactly where you need to go to, because you might stop way, you might divert and go somewhere else. But you need passion in whatever you do, because it's that sustainer. You know, it gives you that fulfillment to be able to carry on, or to be able to do what you're here to do. Yeah,
Okay, so
definitely.
in your situation, how did that play a role in you evolving and becoming who you are and the things you are doing now? How is passion sustaining what you are doing? How is passion playing a critical role in everything you are doing now?
For me, like I said, I'm here to help people, right?
Hmm.
And I think for me, the most defining moment was when I was like 8 years old and my brother had a cold. My brother doesn't get sick
Okay.
much, but he had a cold. And I remember I was like trying to make tea, you know, at 8 years old,
Yeah.
boiling the kettle, trying to make tea. I'm like, are you okay? Trying to feed him the tea. And I think from that moment, I knew that my
At,
thing
at,
was,
at what age were you?
I was 8 years old.
8 years old. Okay.
Yeah. And from that moment, I knew that I didn't like people suffering.
Yes.
So for me, I thought, okay, because I didn't like people suffering, let me let me go into the medical field, because that's how I would heal people and
Yeah.
relieve them of their suffering. But then I later found out that, you know, helping people and relieving their suffering doesn't necessarily have to be medical,
Medical.
but it could be that human contact. And yet again, with that self discovery, I realized that, okay, I'm here to help people, like the core of people identity, help them to find out who they are, what they're here to do, how they can do it.
Yes.
And that's been a testament in everything that I've done in my life, from running as a young MP to becoming a community
Oh,
leader.
you ran as a young MP.
Yes,
Were in
I've
Ghana
done a
or in the UK?
in the UK. Yes, for
Oh,
Labour.
wow. For which
Yes,
party?
for
The Labour Party
the
or?
Labour. Yeah, I was a
Oh,
young
I never knew
leader.
of this. I never knew
Yeah,
of this. Wow.
so yet again, because I have a passion to help people, thought, okay, if it wasn't the medical, then it's politics. But then I realized that the core thing was people. So
Yes.
it wasn't necessarily in the medical field, nor was it in politics, but it was people. So identifying what people suffer with or struggle with and easing that. So for me, for example, with what I do in the media and marketing space,
Mhm.
I help a lot of people who have problems with visibility online or sharing their story because they don't know how to. The lack of communication or the lack of knowledge that they have, I
Yes.
use that and I help them. Similarly, with what I do in Ghana, there's so much inequality and so much disparity going on in terms of like people who are underprivileged. You know, when we think about outside of Accra, people that still have to live off rivers and streams as their water source, people that don't have good classrooms in education. So, because I always want to help people, that's always directed me to do certain things. So, for example, when I go to Ghana, I'm like, okay, how can we raise money to give students
Mhm.
a better classroom, or to help teachers even have the right resources to help students? How can we help widows because they're neglected in the community? Back to then media marketing, how can I help a founder who has started this business but doesn't have a clue how it could go, what the
Yes.
trajectory is? So with clear narrative media, yet again, back to the truth, is understanding the right narrative that God has destined for either that founder,
Yeah.
that creator, that business, because with every business there's a purpose. How do I identify what it is that I'm here to do, and how can I do it well through media and marketing? That's how I'm here to kind of bridge that gap to help people at church. Okay, I'm a church leader. Okay, what am I here to do? People come to church, they're here to find salvation, but sometimes you just need someone to speak to. Sometimes you just need someone that will put a smile on your face. So,
No.
because my purpose is people, my purpose is here to help people. I'm connected to people in so many different ways. And if I didn't have the passion to do that, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. I
Yeah,
probably would have
yeah, yeah,
found an office job somewhere, be earning thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds,
yeah.
going on different holidays and just minding my business. But my passion is to relieve people of their pain, relieve people of their suffering, but
Hmm.
also to see people achieve purpose and destiny through identifying themselves, their gifts, their talent, but also having a space to thrive. So that's how my purpose or my passion has helped me to walk in purpose. Yeah.
Wow, this is really great. So you used to be an all-round person from that space, marketing, church styles to politics. I didn't know that you were into politics before. And
Oh
so
yeah.
the idea is that just to get in contact with people and how you can leverage on that or based on that to help humanity as well. So it
Yeah.
tells you that wherever you go, whatever you do, it's linked. Your passion is linked to the purpose or to the path that you are charting as an individual. And
Yeah.
with the issue of and purpose,
Yeah.
there are times people get into a profession which is not in line largely with their purpose. And there are
Yeah.
people who are also fortunate to go into a profession which aligns with their purpose. Either
Mm.
way, what's your take on that? And have you experienced or have you encountered people who are into this situation and how did you help them?
So like I said, I could have gone into politics. I could have gone into medicine. So I actually did an A level where I did biology, chemistry,
Okay.
um, forensic science, and I failed chemistry, I failed biology, but I did well in forensic science.
Okay.
And I looked at it and I realized that yeah, this isn't my calling. The numbers and as the knowledge I'm good at, but it's
Yeah.
just the application is
Yeah.
not.
The delivery was not there.
Yeah, exactly. Then I sat down and I thought about what is it that I actually like. And I like to learn about people.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, I picked a course called sociology. And I've never done sociology in my life. I ended up being the top in the class. I
Oh,
ended
really?
up doing well. And I ended up realizing that sociology is all about people and connectivity to society and systems
Yeah.
and structure. Okay, that's what I'm good at. So I went back to the drawing board, picked sociology again, picked politics, and picked anything that had to do with humanities.
Yes.
That's when I realized that I was doing very well.
Okay.
As to when I was doing the sciences and I wasn't doing well, I had more of a connection to people yet again because I was doing humanities.
Mhm.
So for me, sometimes you might go in a way where also your parents might pressure you because, especially coming from a black background, you must be a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher,
Yes. Yes.
uh,
Yes. Yes.
like
The,
aunties,
the the
uncles.
prestigious professions in a society. What we tag
Yeah,
as is first class citizens in a society.
exactly. Not everybody is meant to be a lawyer. Not everyone is meant to be a
Exactly,
doctor.
and that is what people do not understand.
Exactly. Some people, like I said before, your job could you could be just good at listening.
Yeah.
Because you're good at listening, you could be a good counselor. Do you understand?
Yes.
But we neglect that, oh, I'm just good at listening. That's fine. You're good at listening. You could be actually a good relationship coach. Because you're good at organizing, you could be a good project manager.
Mhm.
Because you're good at organizing, you could be a good events manager. But
Yes.
because sometimes, yet again, it's about knowing that your truth and knowing what you're called to do. Your parents will input, society will input, your bank statement is even inputting in the job that you have to do. You feel pressured, but I always say to people, just find out what you're meant to do. I know somebody and they moved over from Ghana to here.
Hmm.
when they were in Ghana, they liked the whole media stuff. They liked the taking the pictures, the communication, more of PR. And you can tell that this person will be very good at PR.
Yes.
But because she came to England and her family was, oh, you have to find a job, you have to find some course to do, some course that will bring money. She went into being a nurse. She hates being a nurse. She doesn't like medicine. She doesn't even like giving people injection.
Mm-hmm.
But because everybody pushed her to become a nurse, that's the one, like they were saying, I don't know, Bemausi Canon, focus on that.
Yes.
They were more like, okay, it's gonna make me money. I could do agency work and earn more money. So let me just focus on that. But once I had a conversation with them, and they were like, do you know what? I would love to get into media. I would love to work with people. I would love to assist people. And funny enough, if we look at her role in church, she's an usher. So she talks to people, she directs people, she's
Yeah.
the one that greets people. You can tell that this person is meant to be with people because her family and society, and oh, you've left Ghana, you've come here, you have to start again. She's gone into the wrong thing and now she has to backtrack
Mm-hmm.
and go back to the right path. So I would say that there's all signs of what you're meant to do, right? There was always signs that science was never my thing. There was always signs that I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I like to joke with people, I like to talk to people. That should tell you where you're meant to go. And also one thing that I would recommend is doing the 16 personalities test. I
16
think,
personality test.
yeah, I need to do that.
Okay.
That 16 personality will tell you your personality type. So, for example, mine is, I think, ENJT or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells you the kind of person you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, but it also tells you the kind of jobs you're meant to go into.
Yeah.
So, people who have the same
Like
personality type
yeah.
are the likes of Oprah Winfrey, are the likes of Obama, are
Mm-hmm.
the likes of Malala. When you break that down, people who are related to people who talk. Yet again, I told you, I
Yeah.
like talking from a
Yeah.
young age. People who like humanitarian stuff like Malala. Yet again, I tell you, I help people. So these things are also key indicators that give you that moral compass that, okay, this is what you're meant to do. Because you can think but sometimes your environment is contaminated and it doesn't lead you the right way.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of see the signs of the small things that you're good at, that will push you to the right direction.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's important. You see, the reason I asked about this is so many people are into a profession which they do not like. If
Yeah.
you tell them today, you ask them today to move, they will just run out of the profession. And
Yeah.
it all means that that profession is not actually lined
But
with we are supposed to be. And
yeah.
that is why I started by asking, is it money first or finding a sense of direction or purpose? Because
Yeah.
most people are missing in this kind of bracket and they don't even know where where to start from, when to get out, when to stop. And because society is pressuring us, family is pressuring us, friends and everything, do this kind
Yeah.
of job, and this kind of job is not paying you now and stuff. So we are all
Yeah.
looking at the now, not
Yeah.
what we think we can do, and in the
Yeah.
future, leverage on that to become who we are destined to be. So
Yeah.
it's very important when you're able to navigate your way through between finding a profession that aligns with your purpose
Yeah.
or which does not align with your purpose. And if you are also in a profession where it doesn't it aligns with your purpose, then that is it. You've
Yeah.
really gained grounds there. Then it means that you need to leverage more there and then do the things that you think you can do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
in this world too, you see, we've spoken a lot about some of these stuffs already. But how do we deal with the challenges
Mm.
of life? Because sometimes I believe that the challenge of money or fancy resources, getting support from people are some of the things that stop people or prevent people or delay people from actually walking in that defined path. Because some people might have seen what they want to do, but then again, where is the support coming from? Where is the money coming from? Those kind of things are necessary. So how do we deal with those challenges as individuals who want to walk in a path of purpose?
There's always a time to stop. Like if you see that you're running into a fire, to your senses and then you're going to die. But if you know that you're running into the wrong place and you can stop.
Okay. If you know you are running into a wrong place and you can stop.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because in this life,
Mm-hmm.
it says mercies renew every day. There's a new day, a new opportunity to do something different.
Great.
Every day is a new day to do what better than what you did yesterday.
Yes.
Right? So that's why I said if you can stop. I know it sounds like, okay, yeah, that's not practical, but if you're in a job and you're very unhappy, resign. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because at the end of the day, God is going to ask you what you did with your time.
Mm-hmm.
God has made us stewards, right? And one thing he's made us stewards over is our time. He's going to ask you, okay, Obed, you didn't like that job,
Yeah.
but you still in it for 20 years.
All because of the money.
All because of the money.
Mm-hmm.
Why? You're going to have to give him an answer, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, if you're running in the wrong direction and you can stop. We live in a generation that actually gives you grace. We live in a generation that is so understanding. It's not like our parents' generation.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to take a U-turn from the career that I was in, I could do that very easily.
Mm-hmm.
I can stop. I don't know about other countries, but in the UK, if I stopped working and I didn't have income, there are benefits that I could take.
Okay.
That would give me at least, let's say, 2 or 3 or 4 months to kind of figure out what I want to do, right?
Okay.
Those who are in the wrong place and you stop, there's courses that you can do. So if maybe you don't want to stop because of the lack of money, start finding a course in something that you like to do. Do that and prepare for your next level if you don't want to stop radically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many free stuff on YouTube. Like, oh my lord. YouTube is the knowledge heaven. Anything and everything you want to do is accessible on YouTube.
Wow.
So if you necessarily don't want to leave just yet, build up that knowledge, build up that skill. Okay, let's say you were in the medical field and you now want to go into the banking field. Find out what those steps are. Luckily, there's counselors everywhere, that you could speak to.
Yeah.
There's courses that you can do. There's access into finance, access into media, access into photography. There's so many different courses that you can actually do. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Google has a really good bank of resources that you can do if you want to get into the tech or the digital space, or even just whatever space you want to get into. In this day and age, you have access into, right? Network that you want to go into. So, for example, yet again, you're in the medical field and you want to go into the finance field. LinkedIn is free. Find people who are doing well in that industry. Connect with them. Go to networking events. Go to brunch events. There's different tools and different apps that it doesn't matter if you're here in Ghana, you can connect with someone in the US, in the UK. Doesn't matter if you're in the UK, you can connect with someone who's in Spain, who's in Portugal.
Yes.
The world is so connected that you have
It's a globalized, connected world.
exactly, you have everything you need, and
Yes.
we're so blessed in this society that we have everything that we need at our
Yes.
yeah. Use that tool. Use your phone. Use whatever you have. At the end of the day, is what's in your hand, right? If you feel like you don't have anything, is what's in your hand. Use what's in your hand, your phone, your internet, your network, your community, and then pivot into what you want to get into. Yeah.
Great. If I have identified my purpose and I am working in it,
Yeah.
what are some of the things that you think can help me, more or less, to perform to a higher standard? Because
Yeah.
whatever you are doing, there is nothing new under the sun. Whatever you are
Yeah.
doing, there's someone doing better than you. What are some of the
Yeah.
things that you think for an individual who have identified what I'm keep doing? How do
Yeah.
I build upon it, and what do I do to enhance it to make sure that yes, I'm clearly working in a magnified purpose for life.
So we're all students of life.
Yeah.
Like, never stop learning. Every day we're learning something new, right?
Mhm.
And the day you stop learning is the day you stop growing. So, like I said again, what that purpose? Okay, are you a musician, for example,
Yeah.
or are you a creative, for example? Okay, where is, like, have a vision of where you want to get to. Once you have a vision of where you want to get to, look at who's on those level,
Mhm.
who's doing it.
Yeah.
So for some, they have Beyonce as the level that they want to get to. For some people, they have Elon Musk. So for some people, they have Barack Obama. I don't know. Who are the people that are in the places you want to get to? Find out what they're doing. Find out what they did to get there, because there's a roadmap. There's always going to be a roadmap, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Of what they did. Incorporate some of those things into your daily lives. So if it's, for example, waking up early in the morning because they need to build discipline, do that. Some of us, we're walking in a purpose, but we lack certain things. We lack focus, for example. We lack discipline, for example. We lack connections, even, for example, So find out where you want to go, look at who's doing it, and incorporate some of the things that they do. If it's even cutting out certain things from your diet, do that, because you need to live longer to fulfill what you're here to do.
Great.
Also, I would say that sharpen your skill set, because what you learn is not what you're going to learn tomorrow,
Yes.
right? So sharpen your skill set. If you're a photographer, take different pictures, learn how to edit better, learn how to improve yourself, because people like value. People are attracted to people of value.
Yes.
So the more value that you can bring, the more people that you can attract, and the more leadway that you get to where you're going. So sharpen those skills. First, identify where I want to go, who's doing what I'm doing. Sharpen your skills. And then I would say the last one is take risks. That's one thing certain people don't do. They don't take risks
Take
because
a rest.
they're
What
so
about if
comfortable.
I fail? After that, we come to the issue of failure. What about if I
Yes,
fail?
failure is part of success.
Yes, we
And
know that failure is part of success, but how many
yeah,
people are ready to accept the fact that, yes, I'm going to do this and I'll need to fail first before I succeed?
but that's how you get to your purpose. People have failed, they've learned from their failings, and they've then carried on, and they've gotten to their goal.
Yes.
And that's why I say take risks, because if you're comfortable in your comfort zone, you're not going to get to where you're going to get to. You're going to be limited. But if you take risks, so for example, you jump and you break your leg, you still have another leg, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not you're not decapitated.
Yes.
You let one leg heal whilst you're still hopping on the other leg to get to where you need to get to. At the end of the day, if you don't take risk, or if you're not willing to take risk, you're going to become complacent, and you're going to stay in the same place. Regardless of where you aspire to be, regardless of how you sharpen your skills, you need to take action. That's what the risk is. It's the action. Without action, you don't get a reaction to where you need to get to. So you need to take risks. And that's what I would say. Find where you want to go to, identify the people who are there. Once you've identified the people who are there, and you've taken key things that they're doing and incorporated that into your lifestyle, sharpen your gifts, sharpen your talent. If you sing, sharpen that, make that better. If you write, sharpen that. If you listen, sharpen that. And once you've done that, then you take the risk, because you've put a plan in place. You've put the way that you're going to add the value. So if you don't take the risk, you just go down. You need to go up. So yeah, that's why I would say take the risk. That would be the
Yes.
last one.
Yes. Taking risk is very important. It says you do not have to see the whole step or steps to take the first step. You just take the first step and you get the second step. Whether you fall, whatever happens, then definitely you put yourself together to get to the second step, and then by the time you realize you've done through or you've gone through the whole of the steps.
Yeah.
Back to the issue of failure. Everybody fears to fail. Everybody fears to fail. As I
Yeah.
sit here, I fear to fail. And I know perhaps you also fear to fail. But how can we, as young guys, as young ladies who are navigating our way through the path of living our purpose. How can we deal with the issue of failure? And if
Yeah.
we fail, if we take, you say we should take risk. If we take the risk and we fail, what happens? What do we do? How do we put ourselves together? How do we regroup again to to
Yeah.
to move on?
So of course everybody feels fears to fail,
Yeah.
but failure is when you stop. You can fail and try again, but you become a failure once you give up. Once you give up, you're a failure.
Failure is
So
one.
yeah, when you stop.
Interesting. Yes.
So you take the risk and you fail. So for example, I'll give you an example. December, I was meant to have a charity event where we were helping a school. I literally advertised. Got the money together. I spent like £2,000 of my own money planning
Mhm.
this thing,
Yeah.
trying to raise £2,000. I literally only raised £300.
Oh,
Okay, cool. We had a partner that came in. The partner was going to sponsor the other half of the project. Everything was cool.
yeah.
One till the project, the partner pulled out. Now I have to run helter skelter looking for somebody in Ghana that can offer us free XYZ so that the money that I put in doesn't go to waste. I've already shipped everything to Ghana.
Yeah.
I've gone to the schools, I've shipped the books, everything is in Ghana. But the most important piece of the puzzle has pulled out. What do you do? Everyone was saying, oh, just give up, give up. You can do it next year. I said, no. I called everyone I know, messaged everyone I know, people in high places, celebrities, your favorite artists, or speaking to their managers. Can you just come down? Even do this, even if you give us this is what we've done.
Yes.
In the end, obviously, it couldn't be done simply because people have already had their budgets for December, and
Yeah.
December was right round the corner.
Yeah.
What do? Do I give up on that project and say, oh, I've put £2,000 of my own money, I've bought books, I've gone around London, I've even paid people to help to support this thing? Do I just give up or do I carry on? So that's okay. That failed. You go back to the drawing board. At the end of the day, I know where I'm going. If the first gate doesn't open, there's several gates. How do I achieve this thing that I'm trying to do? So
Yes.
I looked at the process. I looked at exactly what I was trying to do and how I was trying to do it. Of course, most of it is funded by my money, but how do we get the everyday Ghanaian to buy into it? Or how do we even get people in the UK to buy into it? How do we even get grants or funding or something? So you look at the drawing board. Right now, I'm in a program where I have a mentor who I think she's from Kenya and she's well versed in that realm. She knows how to get the money. She knows where to get the money. She knows who to bring on board.
Mhm.
Even though that thing didn't work out, it led me to looking for different avenues, knocking on different doors, applying for different things that had to do with Africa and Ghana.
Yeah.
It's brought me to different people who are able to give me the thing that I wasn't able to achieve before.
Yeah.
So now I've been able to come up with a strategy and a plan that I rescheduled what I've done before to a different date, and it's allowed us to plan well and have certain things on board so that we can execute it. If I had just looked at that scenario and I would have just said, God, you gave me this, I don't know, plan, vision,
Yes.
this goal. You
Yes.
even told me in a dream that you were going to help me. And now I'm stranded.
And
And
then
then
you raise your hands, you give up.
I give up. I failed. I could have been like, do you know what? I don't even want to do this charity thing anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even help people. But one thing you need to understand in life is that we're all connected. We live in an ecosystem where we're all connected. So imagine if I give up today,
Mhm.
someone in that school who's meant to become the next prime minister, the next lawyer, the next
Yeah.
teacher, the next doctor, now couldn't get the books that they needed because I have those books sitting in my house somewhere in Ghana.
Yeah.
And I decided to give up the project. I've now, someone that could have impacted their life, I've now made maybe their journey even longer.
Yeah. So more or less, how you were failed or you failed would deprive somebody of something significant or special, which
Yeah,
will help the journey of that person.
yeah. So at the end of the day, I have to think, okay, I, I care about these children. I'm not just doing it for the money or
Yeah.
doing it for or whatever. We're all connected. So how else can I get to that goal?
Mhm.
I tried the first one and I fell. I got back up and I looked at my steps. I literally had to go back. And I think that's something that we don't do. We need to look back at what we did that got us to the certain place.
Yeah.
Even ask for feedbacks. So did we start late? Did we not have maybe enough publicity? Did we
Mhm.
not have enough momentum? Did we not even target the right people? Or maybe this wasn't the right time. These are the different things that we need to actually go back and reflect on. Because you could okay, I tried and it didn't work, so I'm not trying again.
Mhm.
That's not a good mindset to have. And if that's the kind of mindset you have, it's going to cripple your destiny. It's going to cripple your purpose. So if you're somebody that, you're trying to achieve destiny, trying to achieve purpose, you need to understand that even if you try, there's going to be bumps in the road.
Yeah.
But how you handle those hurdles will build your character and shape your future. So I could have given up. I could have said, I'm not touching this again. I'm not doing this Ghana thing again because Ghanaian people don't like to help people. And
Yeah.
I could have been negative.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I need to change my lens. I need to change my focus. Okay, so I did this. It didn't work. How else can I do it? Maybe more effective. Was there systems that I didn't put in place? Was there things I didn't do right? You need to be able to be honest and transparent with yourself in
Yeah.
this journey of life. If you lie to yourself, you will not get to your destination. You have to be transparent and honest. What did I do wrong? Who did I involve that I should have involved? Or who did I involve that I shouldn't have involved?
Mhm.
You know, go back and look. And then once you've reevaluated, you still have that purpose. You still have that passion. You still have those gifts.
Yeah.
You still have those talents.
Mhm.
Still use everything that you have to help you get back up and get to the next
Yes.
level.
Yes.
So
So
that's how I'd say
yes,
overcome.
yes, yes, yes. Gets to a point where people get stuck at
Yeah.
that point. Yes, I failed. I failed first step. So that is why I'm not trying anything anymore. And then it puts a certain kind of burden on them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they are like burdened. And it gets to that point where you see, we like you're saying, we do not ask the right questions when we fail. And we don't do more or less like a proper assessment of the situation, like aftermath or afterwards of everything. Like you did, you asked questions, and then what went wrong, what didn't go right as you an individual trying to put out something. So at the end of the day, you'll be able to find out that these stuff didn't go right, and in your next attempt or in your next event, you try to put things in the proper context or in a proper way. Yes. So
Yeah.
when you were speaking, you were talking about having somebody from Kenya connecting to people in Ghana, connecting to people in the UK and stuff. You see, the issue of coaching and mentorship. If if identified my purpose or I've identified something that I think I'm capable of doing, do I need a coach? Do I need to invest in a coach or in a mentor? Somebody like I should just be there and just I've identified my purpose, so that is all. I'll materialize. I'll do everything, and everything will work for me. Is it necessary for us to invest in coaches, to invest in so that they can help us properly shape us as individuals?
Yeah. I think that's an answer is that you need a mentor. I have a business mentor. I have about two or three different mentors within the industry that I'm in. I've now got a charity mentor. I have a like in church, I have a mentor in church, someone that I can look up to, someone that I can be accountable to.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this because I know that every different aspects of my life I want to excel.
Yeah.
There's people who already been where you've been. Me, I don't anything. That's what I
Yes.
always tell
Yes.
anything. But someone has done 20 years, for example, in an industry that you want to be in.
You wanna-
20 years is mistakes, is risk, is values, is things that they've learned. Tap into that. Like, why would you struggle to get to your goal when you can literally get there quicker and faster? For me, I feel like the Israelites, right? A journey that should have taken them 40 days took
Yeah.
them 40 years.
What you?
If they had listened to themselves and they didn't complain and they didn't think whatever, they would have gotten there quicker. Same thing with life. Have a mentor. it helps you to get to where you need to get to. Every successful person has had a mentor before. So if you know you want to succeed and you know you want to achieve destiny and purpose, make sure you have a mentor in those fields that you want to succeed in, and you will literally see your life grow. Yeah.
Wow. So the issue of mentorship and coaching is very important. Should
Yeah.
we invest in them? Should we invest in them? Because maybe, like you're saying, in all aspect of your life, you have coaches. You have that who are helping you shape every bit of it or every aspect of your life. Should we invest in them, or should we just go for them? Or maybe, like, if you offer to coach me or help me, that is all. You just do whatever you want to do. Because there are people who say they are professional coaches or mentors in particular areas or fields. For instance, if
What
maybe I am
right?
in the marketing field, do I need
Yeah.
to find a coach and invest in that coach? By invest, I mean that by paying the person to prune you, to help
Um,
you be the better marketer that you want to be.
it depends. I don't necessarily like with okay. There's a difference between coaching
Yeah.
and mentor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Coaches are obviously paid for their time. They're
Yeah.
paid for their resources. They're paid for the whatever. Obviously, you invest in that.
Mm-hmm.
Mentorship is a little bit different because it's that person freeing up their time and their space to help you.
Okay.
So if you want to be a coach, go ahead and pay for a coach. But a coach and a mentor are not the same.
I'm not
A
the same.
coach is there to tell you what to do. A mentor is there to help you and support you. So a coach may not necessarily support you, whereas a mentor would. So it depends what you're looking for and what you need. Do you need someone to just tell you what to do, help you, give you a 10-step plan and be go away with that? Or do you want to actually build a relationship? Because with mentorship, you're also building a
Build a
relationship with
relationship.
that
Yeah.
person. So you need to first identify what you want. And usually all the mentors that I've had, I've never had to pay. But because I have a relationship with them, I pay in a different way. So
Okay.
for example, my mentor that one of the mentors that I have in marketing,
Mm-hmm.
media marketing space, I've taken headshots for her for photography, for example.
Okay.
So I've not necessarily paid her money, but I've exchanged
It's an
services
exchange. Yeah.
to help her. Yeah.
Great, great, great. So, in this space, if you really want to move on, you really want to align yourself properly with your vision and your purpose, you need a mentor. The coach comes and then he or she does his or her work, and then that is all. But the mentor,
Yeah.
one thing I've seen about mentors is that most time they stay a very long time. They stay with you
Yeah.
for a very long time. They tell you your wrongs, your rights, and what you could have done better, and you go to them for advices and stuff. Yeah. So every individual who want to, chart this path of purposeful life, you need a mentor to guide you in every setting that you want to champion in. And in your line, 7 years into this space, media and marketing, 4 years into charity work, are there some challenges, specific challenges that you want to share with us to encourage people that, yes, in every sphere of your life, in every endeavor, no matter what, you might have good plans, good kind of mindset for people, but it might
Yeah.
not always necessarily end well. So if it
Yeah.
doesn't end well, what do we do? What are some of the challenges you face or you have faced throughout this journey up to this point?
I think my first challenges, or one that I still kind of have to battle with, is that imposter syndrome and self doubt. Sometimes you find yourself in certain spaces, and I've been blessed
Mm-hmm.
to find myself in spaces where I'm the only black woman or the only black person.
Yeah.
Sometimes only black person who is a woman who is the youngest. So being in certain spaces, you kind of think, okay, should I be here? Should I not be here? Or oh my gosh, I'm just working with this celebrity. Like I feel like I shouldn't really be in this room, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm I've with the heads of media. I
Yeah.
shouldn't really be in this space. But understand that wherever you find yourself, you're meant to be, as in that space. if you didn't carry value, if you didn't carry something, you wouldn't have been there in the first place, right? Because for a door to open, you need a key. And you've definitely got a key. And that's why you're in the room, because you've unlocked certain things that's allowed you to be in the room. So I think those are the things that I have to keep reminding myself constantly when I find myself in spaces and places that I feel like I'm not as big enough, or I'm not as old enough, or I'm not as white enough to be in. But you have to reminding yourself. The second thing is being, a business owner and being someone who freelances. You always have the issue of money, right? Cash flow. And when you set out to do something, sometimes you might not have everything you need, but you have to find a way to create what you need, right? And I think a lot of people that I've spoken to, especially a lot of like young founders or young business owners, is that everybody struggles with money. But one thing that I've learned is that you create something that people want and people need. And once you create something that people want and people need, the money will always follow. Like we were saying before, you can chase money. You chase money, money will lead you to the wrong place. But once you chase purpose, it will lead you to the right place. So same thing with money. You don't chase the money, but you create something that people will always need or want. And that will always draw the money. And that's something that I've had to learn. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there, but we keep going and we keep pushing. And that's a challenge that I know that a lot of people face. And I think one thing that I want to say, obviously not because, feminism, whatever, is that regardless of where you find yourself as a woman, you're meant to be in that space, because many a times the media marketing world, for example, is dominated with men. And it's dominated with white men. So as a black female, you feel like, wow, am I meant to be here? Am I deserving to be here? But understand that you are deserving, right? And one thing that I've always found is that your talent or your gifts make room before great people will always bring you where you are. So definitely, do not neglect your gifts. In these 7 years, you can chase other things, but once you build your gifts, once you build that value, you will always find yourself in places that you've never thought about before. And it goes back to what I was saying about imposter syndrome. Is just knowing who you are is a journey. Is not easy. It's a journey, because people will really tell you who they think you are. Oh, you're just a small girl, or oh, you're just a junior person, or oh, you're just people always also try to take advantage, but you have to know who you are. And finally, I think one thing that I will give people in my years of experience is that do not disregard who you are. Regardless of what you go through, regardless of the challenges that you face, regardless of the people that you meet, don't neglect who you are. Because I've been places or things have happened to me that I'm like, oh God, why did you give me such a kind, loving heart? Oh God, why did you? And sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to be nice to people. I don't even want to help people. But because that is your power. That is the reason why you're here. Because yet again, the enemy using people will always try and turn you off your course. But understand that you are unique in every way, shape, and form. From the hair that's on your head to how your toenail is shaped. You are unique, and people will try and take that and strip that off you. But you need to remain firm and you need to remain strong. This world is not made for weak people. You have to have a backbone, and that's something that
I
I'm
will
learning.
say it's not for timorous souls.
You have to have a backbone, and you have to understand that there are things that are fighting you so that you don't get to where you need to get to, right? Because I said that knowing your truth and your truth shall set you free. There are systems, there are structures, there are environments, there are things that are set up and designed for you not to be free. You not to find your truth, you not to achieve or attain purpose and destiny. And you need to understand that you need to be strong. You need to be as bold as a lion.
Yeah.
You need to have courage. You can't win battles if you're scared or if you're timid or if you don't take risk. There are so many things that are going to come against you. But one thing you need to understand is those things are not necessarily coming against you to hurt you, but they're coming to you to shape and formulate you into the person that you have been called and destined to be.
Great.
So sometimes it could be an illness. Sometimes it could be losing your job. Sometimes it could be losing a friend. Trust me, I've been there. Like, I've lost people that I thought I was going to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're being refined day in and day out. And you have to understand that sometimes the world is not even against you. The world is just trying to shape and form you. So you have to like be firm, right? And you have to be tough. And the last thing that I would say before I go is that no matter what challenge, no matter what valley, no matter what mountain, no matter what hurdle, no matter what anything that you encounter, don't give up. You are born with greatness. You are destined for greatness. And things will try you so you give up. But realize that there is power in not giving up. That at the end of the day, your success is determined by how much you are willing to fight and how much you are willing not to give up. So no matter what you encounter, no matter who you encounter, no matter what you encounter, and no matter when you encounter those things, don't give up. Yeah.
Great. Timeless lessons. No matter what you face in this life, don't give up. And your success is determined by how much or the extent you are determined to fight as an individual. Any big win, any success that you got and you said, yes, I've arrived as a marketing person or as a founder. This is the breakthrough for me. This is the story. The whole world should hear of this story. Anything like that.
I've had wins as in seeing certain amount of money in the bank account.
What is
With, oh, if you add everything up together, yeah.
come again?
Seeing certain figures in your account and you're thinking, ah, God, finally,
Right.
finally. Yeah. Also, like being able to impact people. So I did a project last year whereby all of our pictures was everywhere on billboards across the UK from the north to the south. So that was a very
Yeah.
big win because like, yes, this is what you're determined to do. This is what you're destined to do. And I think for me, the biggest win is that I haven't changed, because like I said, in all things, you're pressured to change, you're pushed to change, but I've kept to myself. And that's a testament within itself. I've kept true to my morals, to my faith, to my belief, to what I stand for. So that is also one of my biggest wins. Yeah.
Great, 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 great. I couldn't have asked for more. I think you've explored this topic to my satisfaction, and I believe that anybody who watches this video will take key lessons from this, and we will be on that journey of living a purposeful life because I believe that each and every person is destined for something, and nobody is a mistake. Dr.
Yep.
Marco once said something. He says, you can have mistake parents, but you are not a mistake. You, the individual. Your parents might have met mistakenly, might have reproduced mistakenly, but you, the
Yeah.
product, you are not a mistake. So it means
That's
that there is a reason why you are here. There is a reason why even today we've met to have this conversation, which is going
yeah.
out there to send a signal that yes, if people of your caliber are doing it, if people of your race, people of your descent, people of your nature are doing it, then it means that you are also capable, equally capable to also explore, to also do the thing you want to do and become the better version of yourself. So thank
Exactly.
you very much for taking your time off your busy schedules and joining us on the King OBED podcast for us to help our viewers to be the better version of themselves. So thank you very much. Until we meet
You're
again.
welcome.
Yes, I know that you've learned a lot from today's conversation with Miss Crystal, and we delved into who you are, how you can identify your purpose, the challenge, how to deal with the challenges, some of the challenges, and how to, align yourself, how to move out of a job that you are not destined to be in. And at the end of the day, you'll be a better version of yourself. So I know you've enjoyed this conversation. And until we meet again, see you. Bye bye.